A bank statement arrived at their house on a Thursday afternoon. It wasn't theirs. The account number wasn't one Maya recognized. The bank name wasn't one she used. But the name on the statement was her husband's. She stood at the mailbox in the driveway of the house they were supposedly saving for and stared at a number that changed everything she thought she knew about her marriage. $47,000. 3 years of deposits. Regular as a heartbeat. Visual cut. Tight shot of mailbox. Slow pan to bank statement. She folded it carefully, put it back in the envelope, walked inside, poured herself a glass of wine, and made dinner. She said nothing. And that decision, to say nothing, was the most important thing she ever did. Music shift. Tension builds subtly. Inspired by true events shared with our community. Setup. 0:30 to 2:30. Maya was 34 years old, a senior accountant at a mid-sized logistics firm, the kind of person who noticed when numbers didn't add up. She and Daniel had been married for 6 years. They'd met at a work conference, fallen into that easy, comfortable kind of love. The kind that feels less like lightning and more like coming home. He was charming, reliable, she thought. A project manager at a construction company. Good with people, good with words. They were saving for a house. That was the plan. Every month, they each contributed to a joint savings account, a physical manifestation of their future. Maya tracked it in a spreadsheet, the way she tracked everything. She liked seeing the number grow. Visual cut. Couple looking at house listings together. Warm domestic scene. There was one thing she remembered, years later, that she'd noticed and filed away without thinking much about it. About 8 months after the wedding, Daniel had mentioned setting up a separate checking account for work expenses. Cleaner for taxes, he said. She hadn't thought much about it. She was an accountant. She understood the logic. She would remember that conversation a lot in the coming months. Red flags. 2:35 now. The first sign was the savings. Maya kept the spreadsheet. She knew exactly what they were putting in every month, and she had a rough projection of where they'd be by year 5. But somewhere around year 3, the numbers started drifting. Not dramatically, just a little slower than they should have been. She mentioned it to Daniel once. "Things are expensive," he said. "We're fine." Visual cut. She told herself he was right. The second sign was the watch. Daniel came home one evening wearing a watch she hadn't seen before. Brushed steel, clean face, nice, but not cheap. She asked about it. "Got a bonus," he said. "Wanted to treat myself." She didn't push. He worked hard. He deserved it. Visual cut. The third sign was the gym. He upgraded his membership. Nicer facility, better equipment, nearly double the cost. Again, not a red flag on its own. She told herself this meant nothing. Visual cut. The fourth sign, the one she almost missed, was a Sunday morning maybe 8 months before the statement arrived. She'd been paying bills and noticed a transfer in their joint account to an external account she didn't recognize, labeled Savings Transfer. She asked Daniel about it casually, over coffee. "Oh, that's my work account," he said without looking up from his phone. "Moved some money for a deposit on materials." She nodded, but she noticed for the first time that he hadn't looked up. The betrayal. 5 to 7:30. The bank statement changed everything. Maya stood at the mailbox and read the numbers. $47,000. Monthly deposits. Going back 37 months. Regular, deliberate, planned, visual cut. She is a senior accountant. She knows what deliberate financial planning looks like. She knew, standing there in the driveway, exactly what she was looking at. An exit fund. Not a business account. Not work expenses. A private account. In his name only. Funded month after month. Parallel to their marriage. Parallel to their shared savings. Parallel to the future she thought they were building together. Visual cut. She walked inside. She put the statement on the counter. She photographed it, front and back, with her phone. She replaced it in the envelope, smoothed it flat, and put it back in the pile of mail. Then she started dinner. When Daniel came home, she handed him the mail. He flipped through it without pausing. She watched him put the statement, unopened, in his briefcase. She poured his glass of wine and smiled. Visual cut. Music shift. That night, Maya did not sleep, but she did not cry either. She opened her laptop and started a document. She labeled it simply, Records. The pivot, 7:30 to 9:30. Over the next 90 days, Maya did not say a word to Daniel about what she'd found. Instead, she worked. Visual cut. She was an accountant. She understood how money moved. And now that she was looking, really looking, she found the threads everywhere. 3 accounts total, not one. She traced them through transfer histories, through tax returns she pulled from the shared filing cabinet, through statements she requested online. $84,000. 3 years of it. A fund built in the margins of their marriage. Visual cut. On day 41, Maya called a family law attorney she'd found through a trusted referral. She did not use their shared credit card for the consultation. She paid cash. On day 53, she hired a forensic financial attorney, someone who specialized in exactly this: hidden assets in divorce proceedings. She brought her binder. It had color-coded tabs. The attorney looked through it for a long moment and then looked up. "You did good work," she said. Maya nodded. "I know." Visual cut. Music shift. Empowerment builds. She filed first. Daniel came home on a Tuesday evening to find her sitting at the kitchen table. Calm expression, documents in front of her. "I think you should talk to a lawyer," she said. She slid the first page across the table. He looked at it, then at her. And for the first time in a long time, he had nothing to say. The justice moment, 9:30-11. Daniel's attorney argued the accounts were personal savings, money he'd set aside independently. The forensic financial record told a different story. Visual cut. Every deposit could be traced to income earned during the marriage. Income that, under the law, was marital property. The transfers were systematic and deliberate. They had begun, the timeline showed, 11 months after the wedding. The forensic attorney laid it out methodically. The judge reviewed it thoroughly. All 3 accounts were classified as marital assets. Visual cut. Maya received them in full, $84,000 plus reimbursement of legal fees. Visual cut. Music shift. Resolution. She used it as a down payment. Not the house they'd looked at together. A different one, on a street she'd always liked, with a backyard and a kitchen with good light. She signed the papers on a Thursday afternoon. She did not invite Daniel. Closing, 11 end. The last thing Maya said publicly about the whole situation was this: "He spent 3 years building me a future. He just thought it was his." There's something worth sitting with in a story like this. Not the betrayal. Betrayal is everywhere. What's worth noting is the 90 days. The 90 days she chose precision over panic, documentation over confrontation, strategy over reaction. She didn't explode. She didn't tip him off. She let her mind do what it was built to do. And when the moment came, she was ready. If her story resonated with you, subscribe. We share stories like this every week. Stories about the moment someone decided not to be the victim of what happened to them. And if you've been through something like this, you don't have to share the details. Just know you're not alone. And the comment section is here.